Humans. Today I wanted to talk about this guy right here, which I recently picked up from a local house of knives. So, here. This is obviously a Civivi. You can see it is an Elementum. Civivi packaging is fairly plain. We have Civivi's lifetime warranty and sharp cutting edge. Obviously, it is a knife. I'd be very scared if it wasn't sharp. Knife was made to live. It's got a lifetime warranty, which is good. Defects in materials and craftsmanship, which is good. Life of the product or until it is compensated by the TSA or ballpark security. That's funny, especially on a little pocket knife. People find some creative ways to damage their knives. This warranty does have some limitations. Don't be fucking stupid, and you get to keep the knife and get it warranted, which I always like. Let's pop this guy open. Packaging, very, very nice, plain. Civivi does a really good job making clean looking packaging. It's simple cardboard, recycle, burn, do whatever. And it does in fact come with snacks. So we do get silica gel snacks. In case you didn't notice, I'm actually not at home right now. So I'm recording on this nice mouse pad that they gave me for buying a knife from House of Knives. One of the many reasons I like shopping in person is because you get nice little perks like this. So that's a thing. Comes with a Civivi pouch. This is definitely smaller than the pouch my Chevalier came in, so I guess they do make different size pouches, which I quite like. As far as stickers, we have the classic Civivi Elementum sticker. We have a Civivi, I don't know, plasticky, not a sticker, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. Encouraging me to advertise. It comes with our warranty information, which is going, oh, it's not even like a roadmap, it's just like a thin line. Is there anything interesting? Thank you for your purchase. Civivi knife covers lifetime warranty. Oh, there's a little thing that'll let you know what's going on. Instructions before use. It's extremely sharp. Okay. Make sure it's in a fully closed position. It's still in a fully closed position before opening it. Let's just make sure that you don't flub the flip. God, that's a bunch of information. It's a friggin' knife, guys. Just, I understand there's probably some legal bullshit as to why you have to do that, but it's a knife. We know what we're doing. Get in touch with Civivi in these areas. Whatever. We have a microfiber cloth. Always like getting these. It's a Civivi branded one in green. I don't know. The microfiber cloths are always nice to have. Oh my god, there's so much stuff. We have a little booklet. Is this like an Elementum? Oh no, it's a multiple products. So you've got best value folder of 2021 knife reviews. You've got images of the Praxis, the Baby Banter, Tamashi, which I've actually never heard of before. We have the Elementum Button Lock 2, the Conspirator. Oh, I gotta get my hands on one of those. They're pretty cool. The Brazen and the Midwatch. The Midwatch actually looks pretty interesting too. It's a ring knife that doesn't have a karambit, like a hawkbill blade, which I kind of like. And the Elementum, which is what I have. That's cool. I don't like getting marketing about a knife that I just bought, but I like getting marketing about other stuff in a brand's lineup because that lets me know if I like this knife, if I like the build construction, if I think that it's super cool, whatever, then it lets me know other knives in their area, in their sort of field, and lets me take a look at them, which I always really like. It's definitely a holdover from the days before the internet, but I still think it's really cool. So I'm going to rant and rave about how nice I think that is. Not a huge fan of the Elementum being on the front of the Elementum one, but it's probably just because they make one and then stick everything under it, so that's fine. The actual knife pouch is lined with this nice soft material. It's a nice little knife pouch. I don't know. I keep my knives in knife pouches when I get them, so that's always nice. We have our free complimentary dog poo bag with Civivi branded on it for unnecessary added waste. I understand. Actually, no, I don't. You have a pouch. You're shipping it to me in a pouch. It's not going to get scratched or damaged. I don't think that the poo bag should be in if you get a pouch. Anyways, y'all stop listening because you saw how absolutely beautiful the handle is. So this is my first time getting an Elementum, and I went shopping with my girlfriend, and she fell in love with the shred carbon fiber with the copper flakes in it. It is so nice looking. And then, nice little flick. Oh man, that's a really nice Damascus. And it's real Damascus. You can feel the ridging in it, obviously. It's their 9CR, 10CR mix that they like doing. it makes a gorgeous product. It's going to have a little bit less performance than the standard Civivi Elementum, but hey, it is what it is. So overview, very inoffensive handle shape. It bulbs out slightly, but it's all nicely rounded, so it fits very comfortably in the hand. You have this liner loop, or not liner, this lanyard loop right here at the back, which is nice, but I kind of wish they'd put the carbon fiber over it and then done a cutout through both the carbon fiber and the liners. Just personal preference. I think that this ends up looking a little bit like shit, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a huge fan. We have a one-position pocket clip, which it's a liner lock, so you get a little bit of leeway, but everything needs to have a two-position pocket clip. That's just the way things are. Even if you like mount it on the inside and then just run the screws through, so you only have two little holes there, it's gorgeous. Oh man, it really and truly is nice looking carbon fiber. You've got full-length steel liners that are probably PVD, or not PVD, like they're coated steel liners. It's nice. They look nice. And then you have a liner lock on the inside. Action. You know, it's very classic Civivi. It's 99% of the way there. It needs, like, you can see me vibrating. It needs just a little bit extra to get it to close. Blade, obviously. Gorgeous Damascus. And what feels like a hollow grind. I mean, it's the classic Elementum wearing a beautiful tuxedo. Completely and utterly understandable. You've got some jimping up here near the back of the blade to index your thumb off of. You have enough space to sort of put your fingertip, even your finger, but you're right on the blade when you do that. So it's not really what I would consider to be a finger choil, more of a forward finger area, just beyond the flipper tab there. The shred carbon fiber is very, very smooth. Like there's no texturing, there's nothing like that. So it is not quite slick, but a little bit on the softer side. Clip, classic Civivi. It's an okay clip. It's a little bit proud at the end of the top bill there. Like I'm feeling it just a little bit in my hand, but it's not too bad. Let's try cutting some paper. Nope. Yeah. So Civivi, it's not the best factory edge in the world, but if you're just looking for something that is well refined, you can see it is making a quite clean cut, right? It's not going to be absolute creme de la creme, best of the world. Sorry, that was like completely off camera. But it is a very nice edge. So, obviously enough, this isn't going to become like a regular carry for me. This isn't something that I'm going to be taking to work and school and getting around all the welding. This is a nicer presentation knife, which means that as a result, it's getting lighter tasks to do. I can't speak to Elementums in general. This is actually my first time experimenting with an Elementum. But for me personally, this is going to be something that I slip into my pocket when I'm going out to nice dinner, or if I'm meeting family, or something along the lines of where I need to be a little more presentable, and the stuff that I carry needs to be a little bit more of a showpiece. And so for me, this is going to fit the bill beautifully. It covers a lot of the stuff that I personally really like. It's a very easy way of identifying me. The blade is extraordinarily clean. There's no billboarding. The billboarding is done on the pivot, which all companies need to get into. It is so much nicer looking having the logo on the pivot than anywhere else in the knife. So just 10 out of 10 for that. It flips fairly well. Like the push button feels great. Pull back is nice. Can I get it with my thumb? Yeah, it'll lighter flick for you. Like the action's really snappy. D10 feels quite good. It's a liner lock. Like it's a very inoffensive object, you know, as far as knives go especially. So nobody's going to get mad at you at the family dinner, which is exactly what you want, right? So this is a very nice example of a more gentlemanly knife, so to speak. I am going to be using it over the next little bit. Again, mostly for the weekend tasks, you know, light work at most. But I do want to get a feel for how it is in the hand and how it feels in use. Like I said, the Damascus blade is going to be a little bit less refined in a certain way. It's not gonna have the balance that like even what are the original ones come in Nitro V or 14C or whatever it is. It's not gonna be quite that good of a steel, but it looks a lot better, which is part of this, which is most of this knife's job, if we're being honest with ourselves. You can see that gorgeous shred carbon fiber. There's a couple voids, as is the nature of shred, but oh, look at that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it, carry it, and you're gonna see, hopefully I will be at home for the second part of this where I sort of talk about how I feel about the knife after a little bit of use. Hello humans, and we are back. So I've been carrying this guy kind of for a little bit. It's very much more fancy than anything that I carry on a regular basis, and a lot of the environments that I am in are hard use environments. I used it over Christmas, which was quite nice. So I did get some use out of it, but not tons necessarily. So it exists in that sort of weird, it's too nice for me to carry all the time, so I only carry it on special events, and I never attend special events. But I have been carrying this, I have used it a little bit, I have formed some thoughts on it, so here we go. To start off with, very neutral handle means that a lot of people who aren't necessarily knife people or who have hands significantly different sizes than mine found this very comfortable to use on Christmas Day. I was handing this thing out to absolutely everybody for present opening and stuff like that. So on that regards, it did a very good job. Action handled really well. Lock was easy enough for even non-knife people to feel comfortable using, which is an absolute plus. And everybody loved the aesthetics of it. And a lot of this knife is the aesthetics. Like it or not, when you're getting something with like this shred and like copper carbon fiber and the Damascus blade, yeah, it is useful. It does open boxes well, it sharpens pencils well, it does a lot of the lighter duty tasks that I would expect of a nice knife to do, and I imagine it would do a lot of tasks a harder use knife would do, but you just don't necessarily want to use it that way, so you just don't. In terms of fidget, it's nice. A lot of what there is about this knife is that it's just nothing exceptional. Like the carbon fiber feels nice. There's a couple of voids. You can see one, like the big one right there. But overall, it's not too bad. There's a nice lanyard loop if you're into lanyards. Deep hollow grind, very, very slicey profile. It's nice. It does exactly what it says in the tin, but it is very much just an knife. It feels very, very similarly to the Wee Banter, right? Or any of the other Wee Banter-esque knives that are out there, Baby Banter, Big Banter, that whole shebang, right? So it is a very, very knife-feeling knife, and that does continue quite a bit into our size comparisons, right? Because here it is next to the Wee Banter and the Civivi Chevalier. Move them all up a little bit. And as you can see, it is just a very, very normal size knife. It fits very, very nicely in between these two sizes. So it's not big, but it's not small either by any means. And here it is next to our Buck 110, just to show like this is not, you can see it is quite a bit smaller than the Buck 110. And next to our Zippo, right, in terms of its thickness. You can see pretty similar to the Zippo, very, very normal knife territory. The clip is fine. It's nothing exceptional, but you know, it works, and it doesn't raise too much of a hot spot, or at least I didn't notice it raising too much of a hot spot in use. Very, very normal. The jimps on the flipper tab are a nice little thing. They make it very, very satisfying to flip, especially if you're just playing with it repeatedly. Having those little traction mark jimps on the liner lock along with on the flipper tab just make this thing super nice to just go back and forth with, which is pretty sweet. Other dimension that I want to collect is our blade thickness. So 115 thousandths. Yeah, right around 115 thousandths at its thickest point. So very, very minimal. Sort of exactly what you'd expect, which is nice. I mean, very, very, very slicey. Yeah, this is just very, very much and knife. And it does that really, really well, but as a result, it's difficult to have a lot to say about it. Even the more interesting design decisions like the slight swedge at the top are just sort of there. They're not doing anything. The deep hollow grind is really nice unless you're cutting through like a longer block of something. I used it to cut some cheese, and it didn't necessarily handle cutting cheese the absolute best, but that's like the total extent of it. Other than that, it really just comes down to, do you think that this particular version is good looking? If you're just looking for a knife, the Elementum is a phenomenal place to start. The Damascus blade steel is not the best blade steel that it comes in. Like, you're definitely taking a performance loss in order to get this, but you know, there's nothing wrong with it. And the regular blade steel, I believe Nitro V is perfectly fine. Like, it does a lot of stuff really well. I actually quite like Nitro V. So on balance, it's just sort of a, yeah, knife. You know, you don't really have enough room to put your finger in the choil. You can, but then you're right up against the edge, which is sub-excellent. In terms, they're not going to be T6s, are they? Yeah, no. So in terms of our body screws, this is my T8. And I imagine that is, yeah, that's what our body screws are going to be, along with, yeah, our pivot screw is also going to be a T8. So, you know, exactly what you want. Very, very reasonable. It feels good. Flipping action, very solid. This is a very easy knife to fidget with. But again, it's nothing that's blowing me away, right? It just feels well done. So yeah, it's good, but because of its good, like how good it is, it begins to feel slightly boring. And I mean, yeah, I got the fancier version because I wanted an Elementum. I think the Elementums are super, super cool. And like, yeah, the only way for an Elementum to be significantly interesting enough for me to spend my money on it, for me personally, was to get a kitted out version. And now it's mostly just going to hang out in my collection until I have a nicer event to justify wearing it to. Which, on my end, probably just means I'm going to find more nice events because I do genuinely like carrying it. It's just, it feels out of place in a lot of my everyday situations. It's a gemstone in my welding booth, which is not what you want necessarily. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I think that's all I have to say about it. It's really, really nice. It's very fun to use. It's very comfortable, but it's not, there's nothing about it that is special or significant enough. It is just a folding knife, one of the basic examples out there, but does a good job, medium size. You know, if you're looking for a knife for your first knife or just trying to fill out a collection, finding the Elementum that is interesting to you is absolutely worth doing. And I mean, the copper carbon fiber along with this darker Damascus is a really nice look. I don't think there's any arguing that is damn attractive. So yeah, that's sort of all I have to say about it. Stay safe and have fun out there. Peace.